Unemployment in Poland has been rising for 8 months in a row. According to data provided by the Ministry of Family, Labour and Social Policy, over 930,000 Poles are currently unemployed. In reality, this number may be higher, as not all unemployed people are registered with the Employment Office. Poland is the 20th largest economy in the world. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk's government boasts about this practically every day. But what does that mean to the nearly 1 million unemployed people registered with employment offices? The latest data from the Ministry of Family, Labour and Social Policy is increasingly worrying. Comparing month to month, the number of unemployed has increased by more than 5 percentage points, nearly 50,000 people. Year on year, that's almost 100,000 people. But the coalition remains calm. We should not be concerned because 100,000 seems like a large number on the one hand, but in the context of how many people are employed in Poland, it is not a very rapid increase. The unemployment rate is one of the lowest, if not the lowest, in the European Union. We don't have much to worry about, right? Well, generalizing, but in reality it is always a concern for every family that is affected by it, or every person who is affected by it. But according to data presented by the government, unemployment has been rising for 8 months in a row. However, representatives of the ruling coalition have an explanation for this. You have data showing 6%. According to another indicator, I can say that unemployment is at 5.6%. It's worth noting that there are different models for measuring unemployment. We should be concerned not only about the level of unemployment, but above all about the fact that there are no new jobs being created in the Polish economy. These are two processes that are not usually linked, but I think what is even worse is that there are simply no new jobs being created. I'm not even talking about highly specialized and highly paid jobs. There are no new jobs at all. We are losing our competitiveness not only in relationship to Western European economies, but also in relation to the whole world. The government seems to be pretending that it does not see the problem. What is worrying is that there are more and more signs that it is difficult to find a new job. This also applies to young workers entering the labour market, but also to those industries where it seemed that employment was secure. Practically every week we hear about investors leaving Poland. This is certainly a bad sign coming from the economy. First of all, I see that these are moves by large Western corporations, which are limiting employment in Poland by moving production back to their home countries. Or maybe it's just artificial intelligence. When you think about why this is happening, it's definitely technology to some extent. AI is also removing jobs from the market. AI has not appeared in the last 8 months, during which unemployment has been rising in Poland. Does the government have any idea how to stop this increase? This is not some kind of systemic surge in unemployment. We have a problem with the shortage of workers. It is perhaps a matter of retraining, perhaps of responding more quickly when it comes to vocational education. The Ministry of Family, Labour and Social Policy is living on hope. It is to be hoped that spring, as in previous years, will bring a reversal of the unfavourable upward trend in unemployment, along with a revival in construction and services and a greater number of new recruits. At the same time, a significant reduction in funding from the Labour Fund for activation programmes may contribute to the persistence of rising unemployment. The government has no idea what to do. It is delighted that we are in the European Union and that they are doing so well that nothing needs to be done at all. We need to start fighting for good conditions for the development of entrepreneurship in Poland. This means, for example, ensuring reasonable energy prices, because currently the energy prices for businesses are much higher than those for ordinary citizens, and these are prices at which no serious investor will launch any energy-intensive activity in Poland. Members of Parliament do not have to worry about their wallets, but, as Rzeczpospolita reports, for some it is still not enough, and this is despite the increases since this year. Poor merchants who have got villas from their parents will be happy. The lump sum for renting apartments for MPs from outside the capital has increased to 4,700 zloty, and the lump sum for MPs' offices has increased by 1,700 zloty and now amounts to 25,000 zloty. Salaries have increased to nearly 14,000 zloty and the parliamentary allowance to 4,300 zloty. At the request of Elżbieta Gelert from the Civic Coalition, in March, the same Committee on Rules, Parliamentary Affairs and Immunities will address the remuneration system for parliamentarians because, in her opinion, they do not earn enough. As I am professionally involved in healthcare, I see a growing gap between the medical professions and the salaries of members of Parliament, and I am not acting on my own interest here, because I am a non-professional member of Parliament who does not receive a salary from the same. These funds are what they are, but is there a frenzy or not? It could always be better. You know that this money on the level of 20-odd thousand zlotys per month, and you have to pay for equipment out of that. You have to buy equipment, you have to furnish the office, you have to pay the employee, you have to pay the rent. Small entrepreneurs cannot count on such additions to the rent for premises, but they have to manage somehow. The same goes for mileage allowances. Today, senators probably have 2.5, while we have over 1,000 PLN less. Senate constituencies are smaller than parliamentary constituencies. Nothing but sympathy. As things stand, many Poles look at these allowances with a certain amount of envy, because with the issue of mass layoffs, there are many problems associated with finding new jobs. In all this, it would be really despicable to say MPs are poorly paid. If someone complains, they're probably a little out of touch with how the average worker lives today, because the average worker pays taxes so that MPs like Mirka Gajewska and other millionaire parliamentarians can live comfortably without worrying about unemployment. New revelations from the Epstein files implicate tech companies and Barack Obama's foundation. $100 million was spent on an important task: to combat conservative values, mainly in Poland, and to promote left-wing politicians. This is the strongest Polish link uncovered in the Epstein files. Now we have reports that Microsoft, among others, lobbied and subsidized the European Union, which helped it in its political campaign against right-wing governments within the Union. We see that Microsoft supported the Obama Foundation, which was also politically active and supported various left-wing organizations. Billionaire Bill Gates' tech company Microsoft saw great potential in promoting left-wing ideas and movements in Poland. Right-wing values and parties, primarily the then-incumbent Law and Justice Party, were targeted, all through the foundation of former US President Barack Obama. The global left had many sources of funding for its left-wing agenda, whether in the United States or in Poland. We can see that former US President Obama received $100 million to promote the left-wing agenda in Poland. We saw this money in action on Trzaskowski's political youth camps dedicated to the promotion of left-wing values. This global left-wing agenda is still in place. Microsoft and Soros are still involved. Just before the Polish presidential election in 2025, left-wing billionaire Alex Soros came to Poland openly to support Rafał Trzaskowski. Earlier, Barack Obama had also held talks with him and with Donald Tusk. But in politics and business, nothing comes for free. It is obvious that parties that are sponsored in such an illegal way would simply not exist on the Polish political scene without this illegal financial doping. They exist only thanks to such illegal funding. The Migration Pact, the Mercosur Agreement, the promotion of gender ideology, leftist climate madness, these policies are all the price Polish citizens are paying today. This is not just influence through financial means, it is actually buying governments, because these politicians and parties that come to power through corporate financing later repay their debt once they are in power. The entire mechanism was described by the US Senate Judiciary Committee. American congressmen state outright that Poland was a testing ground for Brussels for what can be done with impunity during an election campaign. All kinds of left-wing, non-governmental and governmental organizations pay large sums of money to achieve their political and ideological goals. The activities of non-governmental organizations financed by EU institutions were intended to discourage voters from supporting right-wing parties. Epstein's emails and the report by US congressmen only confirm what we have been saying for a long time. Tusk's takeover of power was financed by foreign interests. Millions of dollars went into the fight against the right-wing Law and Justice government. Tusk's party election campaign was quietly supported, while on the other hand, a gigantic, deceitful propaganda machine was set in motion. However, there is no point in hoping that Donald Tusk and his Justice Minister, Waldemar Żurek's Epstein Files Commission, will deal with this matter, or that the European Commission will ever admit to interfering in these elections. Polish citizens must draw their own conclusions.
Significance, as both countries border Iran, and Azerbaijan also borders Russia. American influence in the region would be a slap in the face for Moscow and a major concern for the regime in Tehran. In a case like this, symbolic gestures are extremely important. The vice president's staff and international affairs advisors have accomplished a tremendous task. They paid a visit to a memorial to the Armenian genocide, the largest ethnic massacre in modern history after the Holocaust.
They asked us to visit the site. Obviously, it's a very terrible thing that happened a little over 100 years ago, and something that's just very, very important to them culturally. So I thought out of a sign of respect both for the victims, but also for the Armenian government that's been a very important partner for us in the region, to Prime Minister Pashinyan, I wanted to go and pay a visit and pay my respects.
But beyond its symbolism, the American president's visit to the Caucasus has very clear and strategic goals. In both Yerevan and Baku, Vance is being received with the highest honors.
Honorable Vice President, I welcome you and the delegation led by you. I welcome you to the Republic of Armenia. Your visit is truly historic because you are the first U.S. Vice President and the most senior U.S. official to ever visit the Republic of Armenia.
The goal is to end the conflict over Nagorno-Karabakh, a disputed territory on the border between Azerbaijan and Armenia. What neither Russia nor Europe, with the support of Turkey, was able to resolve, the Americans have finally succeeded in doing. 6 months ago, the two leaders signed an agreement at the White House.
I think the prosperity that it's unlocking, both for Armenia and for the American people. We're excited to go on to Azerbaijan from here. Obviously, the president, part of striking peace is actually the first step, but part of the keeping the peace is what we're doing today, which is building upon it, making sure that we have the economic interdependence between Armenia and Azerbaijan that's necessary to make the peace deal stick.
The dispute between Armenia and Azerbaijan dates back to the collapse of the Soviet Union. Fighting over Nagorno-Karabakh led to 2 wars and decades of tension. In 2023, Azerbaijan regained control of the region, and last year's agreement paved the way for the normalization of relations. One of the pillars of the new opening is the Transport Corridor project. It is intended to connect Azerbaijan with Nakhchivan and Turkey through Armenian territory, creating new trade routes between Asia and Europe that bypass Russia and Iran. This is crucial not only for Baku and Yerevan, but also directly for Washington.
We're also very proud to announce that our nations have completed negotiations on a 1-2-3 civil nuclear cooperation agreement. Now, once that is completely stood up, it'll pave the way for American and Armenian companies to strike deals on civil nuclear projects.
The significance of this visit extends beyond their relationship between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Both countries border Iran, which remains a key point of geopolitical tension. Stabilizing the South Caucasus means building new trade, energy, and security corridors in the immediate vicinity of Iran, with the participation of the United States, Tehran, and Moscow. This poses a direct challenge to their current dominance and the emergence of an American presence right on their borders.
Running for the United States, how to celebrate the 250th anniversary of U.S. independence. Noah Coughlan has decided to run across the entire United States. He still has thousands of kilometers ahead of him through the northern states of the U.S. He will also run through Alaska and eventually reach Hawaii, where he will run into the waters of the Pacific Ocean on July 4th. During his journey, Noah will cover about 9,000 kilometers through 20 U.S. states. He is now running through Ohio and Michigan, where temperatures drop to several degrees below zero. However, his expedition is not only a sporting feat, but above all, it is about meeting people and telling a story about the American community, patriotism, and freedom.
The American flag doesn't belong to one person, it belongs to all the Americans. There's so much history wrapped in it, 50 stars, 13 stripes, and I think it's just something positive, something encouraging, and it's just who we are as Americans. It's that American spirit, it's that American dream, it's that American resolve that we just don't stop. We find a way to keep going. And if we can't find a way, we'll make a way.
This is not his first such journey. Noah has already run across the entire United States 4 times. His last run was a tribute to American veterans, and during the 3 previous ones, he supported children suffering from rare diseases. Now he has reunited with a father whose son died of Batten disease.
We started talking on a regular basis. We actually talked in every state in his first run across the states, and it really meant the world to me because my son was still alive at that time, and it means even more to me now. His dedication to what he does is amazing.
Now Noah has reminded many people of the importance of a sense of national community. Run for America is generating a lot of interest. Overnight, Noah became a hero, followed by tens of thousands of people on social media. Along the way, he constantly meets people who want to shake his hand, give him a small gift, and encourage him to continue his journey.
This flag, it means the world to me. I'm so grateful to be born American. People just don't know what it is. Too many people don't appreciate what they have here.
Thousands of kilometers, hundreds of encounters, and one idea. In the year the United States celebrates 250 years of independence, one man is running across the country to say, "Thank you for letting me be an American," and his next journey may take him to the Vistula River.
I would love to come to Poland. It should be very soon here. I'd love to join you and learn more about the Polish people. And you let the people of Poland know that they have a friend in the American people.
Thank you very much, Noah. So we are waiting for you in Poland.
Good. I'll be there soon.